This is the newly refreshed Mazda CX-5. And we're actually the first in the ASEAN region to get Mazda's latest compact crossover SUV. And it's solely available in this 2.5 all-wheel drive turbo variant. And yes, you heard that right. Because this is the first time that Mazda Philippines is offering the CX-5 with the 2.5-liter turbo gasoline engine from the bigger CX-9. But before we get to its performance, let's talk about the CX-5's redesigned sheet metal. So from the outside, the facelifted CX-5 comes with color-matched body cladding, which makes this the equivalent of the signature variants found in overseas markets. And then the new CX-5 also comes with a revised front end, which is characterized by its reshaped front grille, redesigned front bumper, and newly designed LED headlights. The side profile pretty much carries over unchanged, apart from of course its new 19-inch alloy wheels. And then at the back, you also get a redesigned rear bumper, new LED taillights, and of course, who wouldn't notice this car's new zircon sand paint? And let me tell you, sobrang ganda tingnan ng bagong CX-5 in person. Do note that the facelift is only limited to this 2.5 all-wheel drive turbo, which means that the rest of the CX-5 range still carries on with the same face as before. And whereas those CX-5s are made in Malaysia, itong all-wheel drive turbo variant na ito is made in Japan. Since after all, tayo nga ang first market in the ASEAN region to get this newly refreshed CX-5. And with all of that said, this is a good time to talk about its interior. So as for interior changes made to the new CX-5, they're actually much more subtle compared to the changes made to the exterior of the new CX-5, no? So they're actually limited to a new color sa kanang Napa leather upholstery. It's now deep red. Many will argue that it's actually brown, but no, it's actually deep red. It's deep red Napa leather. And as of course, since this replaces the signature diesel variant, no, this will be the flagship, of course, of the CX-5 range, which means you get stuff like railwood trims, yung Bose sound system. Well, the Bose sound system is available even in the two-wheel drive sport variant. But yeah, in terms of amenities, this is fully loaded pretty much at 2.380 million. So you also have ventilated front seats. Always something that's useful in hot climates. Sobrang importante siya. Sa there should be a law that feature should be required sa mga cars. It's charot lang, of course. Then you also have wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, and then you also have wireless charging, so you don't need to plug in your phone to both charge and use yung kanyang Apple CarPlay. And then that's actually pretty much it in terms of yung kanyang interior. But apart from the minor interior upgrades, there's actually much more in terms of upgrades sa kanyang chassis, which we'll be talking about later when we drive the car. And then as for practicalities, still have powered tailgate and sunroof. It's not actually practicality, is it? And that actually now leads me to actually talk about the car's driving experience. So as for the driving experience of the Mazda CX-5, unfortunately this car is so new, it only has 7 kilometers ka ng odometer. So this basically just rolled off the shipping, the barko basically, shipping barko, what? So this car is basically fresh AF, ang sobrang bagong-bago niya. So hindi ko siya pwedeng ibirit since di pa siya nag-break in. But you know, this CX-5 is basically a rocket ship kasi this comes with a 2.5-liter turbo gasoline engine. And so while we can't measure the car's performance or at least test the performance ngayon, Mazda claims a 0 to 100 kph of 7.7 seconds, which actually makes this SUV, which actually makes the CX-5 the fastest in its class, no, sa kanyang performance. So apart from performance being its biggest upgrade now that it uses the same engine as the Mazda CX-9 and the 2.5 turbo na Mazda 6, ang kanyang biggest upgrade pa is yung kanyang refinement. So Mazda did a lot of re-engineering sa kanyang structure. They made the structure stiffer. They modified the suspension to lessen yung kanyang mga movements, no, when you go through bumps. So you have fewer vertical motions and also fewer yung kanyang horizontal movements sa suspension. So as a result, in terms of ride, it's actually really good, no? Yes, there's the firmness that you expect from a sporty Mazda, but it's really good actually in terms of ride comfort. And being a Mazda, okay, we're here in the compound ng Mazda, but steering is still sharp as ever. It's still the best in class in terms of steering, and it's very sharp, no? I'm wiggling the wheel, and it really changes directions quickly. Also, another upgrade, the CX-5 2.5 Turbo now has paddle shifters, so it's gonna be really fun to drive itong kotseng ito sa twisties. And one thing that I like about Mazda's paddle shifters is that it's a true manual experience. So if you don't upshift, it will dance sa kanang red line, no? Sa kanang rev limiter. Unlike other brands na it will upshift for you, so it's a true manual experience. Anyhow, yun, apart from the suspension and structural upgrades, meron ka ngayong re-engineering sa kanang chassis floor. So ngayon yung floor, yung sa ilalim ng kanyang katawan, has been reshaped in a way na the sound doesn't resonate as much when you go through rough roads or yung hindi ganun ka-smooth na mga asfalto. So as a result then, you have significantly less road noise compared to this CX-5. And admittedly, itong test track ng dito ng Mazda isn't actually the smoothest around. And yun nga, since dito pa lang sa medyo rough stuff ng Mazda, ay sobrang pansin mo na yung improvements in terms of refinement. What more if we drive it in the expressway? So, this is all basically in line with Mazda's goal of bringing this brand or their brand to a higher level in terms of premium feel. And basically, sa totoo lang, with the way this new CX-5 drives in my first impressions pa lang, it actually almost sort of feels like a Lexus NX in terms of refinement, no? I mean, not true luxury experience pa, but compared to other compact crossover SUVs, this is one of the most refined now in its class. It's one of the most luxurious in terms of driving experience, and combined with the fact that this is a Mazda, meaning it's very sporty. The seats are really comfortable, by the way. I love the padding of the seats. I love the driving position as always in every Mazda, and this is really elevating the compact crossover SUV recipe, no? Despite this just being a facelift, talagang ang ganda ng improvements niya. And apart from upgrading the driving experience, you also have more upgrades then in terms of safety. So new for the 2022 CX-5 is now you have radar cruise control. Though it doesn't work in stop-and-go traffic nga lang, it deactivates at 30 kilometers per hour. Then you also have stuff like automatic emergency braking, which was carried over basically from the 2.2-liter diesel signature variant. No, that variant always had that feature. But now, yeah, new for this year is the radar cruise control. So far, so good with the Mazda CX-5. These are just our first impressions. We can't actually wait to drive this rocket ship of an SUV out on a public road. But yeah, things are looking pretty good for Mazda. This CX-5 that's been facelifted now, in which the tolling upgrades are not just based on aesthetics, but also in terms of yung kanyang refinement, handling, and ride comfort. This is actually quite significant, no, in terms of as far as facelifts go. And yeah, this is gonna be one of the best crossover SUVs out there, but yun nga lang at a price of 2.380 million to be precise. But with 5 years of frame maintenance as expected of a Mazda sa atin sa Pilipinas, then it's actually pretty worth it, no? You're getting a premium SUV, you're getting the best driving SUV in its class, you're getting the most luxurious SUV in its class, and yeah, at a price nga lang, of course. But yeah, sino ba nagsabi na the best SUV comes at an affordable price? Diba? Siyempre, you have to pay a premium often with the best products out there. The facelifted 2022 Mazda CX-5 will be heading to showrooms soon. And as mentioned a while ago, it will only be sold as a 2.5 all-wheel drive turbo variant. The pre-facelift Malaysian-made CX-5s will still be sold alongside this new model, though the base two-wheel drive Pro has been discontinued. And therefore, here's the updated price list of the CX-5 range.